My friends, good day. I just want to share this experience I had some 6 years ago, roughly, approximately 6 years ago, with this homeless couple, the Rodriguez family. And gosh, it's just been on my mind ever since, and I just wanted to share this with you. And how, in my opinion, it relates to backpackers, and backpackers, hikers can relate to the situation that they're in terms of the challenges of living out in the environment. So, this all came about. I was reading this article in the Desert Sun about this large Coachella homeless camp that was out in the desert. And it was just really touching. It was so well done. And I happened to be backpacking that area at the time. And so afterwards, I visited, and I don't want to self promote myself, but I brought food and water. And I had the opportunity to meet with a couple that they wanted to share their story with me and gave me the permission to go ahead and post it. So this is the location that the homeless encampment was located at. Here's the boundaries. You probably, if you've been out to the Coachella Valley, you've driven right by this location many times. Here's Dillon Road. This is Highway 86 right here. And it's located in this area right here. All these circles, red circles, are homes that were constructed out of whatever material that they could find. Some are tents, some of them are modified tents, but anything to shield themselves from the desert cold in the wintertime and the desert heat in the summertime. This is a picture, a drone shot of the homeless encampment that was done by Desert Sun. Again, a really good article. I recommend. It's still up. I would recommend that you read it. And you do see a vehicle here, but most of these people don't have a vehicle. So any water in particular, which is probably the most important thing to these people, they have to walk, in some cases, miles. And a lot of these businesses and people are exhausted and don't want them coming to them to ask for water. So they might have to walk miles in the desert heat to get water. And this just goes back to how precious water is to them. And for any backpackers or hikers that do hiking in the desert, water is everything. Water is the most precious commodity, and it has to be very carefully metered out that you don't waste it. This is what it looks like today, that same property. You notice that Caltrans cleared it all out, but this is what it looked like. Again, these are pictures from the Desert Sun news article, and just some of the homes that these people were able to create. So this, in terms of backpacking and hiking, I just want to share this with you. This is from the Department of Health and Human Services on how much water is needed to just exist in a hot environment. So basically, you can pause and read this if you want, but basically when working in the heat, you're going to drink about 8 ounces of water every 15 to 20 minutes. That translates to roughly a quart per hour. Think about that in terms of you're homeless, you have to go and beg for water. The surrounding businesses are probably exhausted or do not want to provide water to you freely. And so you have to basically walk, in this case, for these people, miles in the desert heat to bring back a few gallons of water. The Rodriguez family, they indicated to me that they go through several gallons a day of water during the summer months. They have to find a sympathetic business or home that will allow them to come and fill their water jugs, which might mean that they have to walk miles and miles to go get the water and then carry it back in the heat, at the same time burning up water to make that journey there and back and to carry that water. Water is so precious that they can't use it for bathing, cleaning dishes, washing clothes, and they have to repeat this process every day. That's their job to exist, is finding water in addition to food, but water is what is their job every day. So this is the Rodriguez family, Mr. and Mrs. Rodriguez. This is an interview that they were very gracious to go ahead and allow me to interview them. And if you are the most heartless person in terms of homeless and that they're lazy people and they all need to do is go get a job, I want you to listen to this people. And this mirrors many of the other interviews I did while I was there, but nobody wanted to go in camera because they were embarrassed about their situation. Because at one time, they were middle-class people.
Really hard trying to survive. And like I said, if we had the opportunity to start all over again and get that chance, we would. I would. Speaking for myself.
Where are you from, ma'am?
I am from Coachella, the Coachella Valley. I was born and raised here, and I've worked all my life. Ever since I was 16 years old, I started at Kentucky Fried Chicken in Indio, and just up until my parents passed away.
And so how did you get out in the streets here?
I became homeless. They passed away, and I was staying with them. I was their caretaker.
Before that, she was working in a prison.
Yeah,
for the state.
With a good job.
Yes.
And so, what?
I had my vehicle. I had my home. I was living up north in Hanford, California, and my mother gives me a call and tells me if I would leave everything behind to come and take care of them. And she couldn't take care of my father because she was not feeling well herself, and I did so. My father passed away, and she moved out of the home with my sister. And when she moved out with my sister, she passed away not about 4 months later. So we lost them both.
Tell me what it's like to be living where you're at right now.
It's dangerous. We have to survive our daily matters with the animals, making sure we don't get bit by spiders or we don't get any type of wounds that will infect our bodies that will cause us, they actually can cause us death. Having to struggle for our water, having to struggle
Water's
for...
a big deal out here in the desert. It's a
very
huge,
big deal.
So how would you guys talk if somebody said you're lazy and you just need to get a job?
Oh, someone said we were lazy to get a job. I can see the get a job part. We actually do need to have a job to survive out here in this world, in this life.
And so why is it so hard to find a job in your situation?
Taking a shower, having proper clothing, clean clothing, on time, making sure that your phones are charged. We can't charge our phones here. We always have to ask people to do us favors. It's pretty difficult to have a job. You have to be there on time, depending where it's at. Transportation, correct. There's no bus systems out here. You can't hop on the bus here. You gotta walk a long distance, which we already walk anyways. Even if we wanted to eat for free, we have to walk a long distance. So it's not like we eat for free. We actually have either our food stamps or something that we get by on.
So, ma'am, can I ask you something?
Sure.
How do you feel when people say insulting things to you about your situation?
I was never a very aggravated or angry person, and I am now. I am. It hurts. It's sad. It's not. They don't understand. They don't understand at all. They haven't lived it. They've never lived it. And those that have will understand, do understand.
God bless you, ma'am. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Well, folks, I hope this softens your heart a little bit more and sympathetic as more and more people, Americans, are going homeless because just the difficulty of having a job that pays enough to be able to survive in America with the minimum basics. Anyway, I thought I'd share this with you. And if you're touched by this, I would encourage you to share it with other people. I wish you the best. Love you always, Joe.